Welcome to Cartoonist Kayfabe. My name is Ed Piscor.
I'm Jim Rugg.
Going to be looking at the bounty from Manga Quest 1 from 2019. But first, you guys got to know that our videos are brought to you by the comic books that we make. And on the stands right now, I have Red Room Trigger Warnings and Red Room The Antisocial Network trade paperbacks in stores today. Murder on the Dark Web for Fun and Profit is the name of the game. Each of these books contains 4 self-contained stories, plus 70 pages of additional material. Get them while they're hot. Jimmy has Hulk Grand Design Monster and Madness out on the stands as we speak, chronicling the entire saga of the Incredible Hulk. It's going to be getting that Treasury Edition format in early 2023. Put in your pre-orders today. And Street Angel Deadliest Girl Alive trade paperback has received a new printing and is in stores now. Get it while it's hot. Support the Cartoonist Kayfabe channel. Buy our books. And Jimmy, it's no secret at this point, going to be heading to Tokyo, man. So the very last weekend in November, I'm going to be at Tokyo Comic Con with Uncle Geof Darrow. We're sharing a table. He said that he's done about more than 10 drawings that he's going to be selling out there. I'm going to have prints and we'll be ready to put the signature on whatever you bring out there. But that's just the business that's at hand while I'm out there. You know I'm going to be on that manga hunt. And this is the fruits of the last round, Jim. I did a stream with all of this material when I got back, but you never interacted with this stuff. And I thought we should go through some of these things. Some of these books have yielded episodes. For instance, this issue of Popeye magazine is very, very important because it covers a lot of Western comics, which is fun. So you get to see some cosplay, as they call it now, with some Japanese peeps.
I love how brightly colored these things are. I wish they would do a Marvel movie where like this is what the color palette looks like.
This is a famous wrestler, but I don't think it's Ricky Dozin or somebody like it's some other cat. The important part about this issue of Popeye magazine is you get Katsuhiro Otomo doing Black Panther right there. I think some of this might come from American books, like that might be a weird Michael Golden or something. But you have a Ryoichi Ikegami Captain America in here somewhere.
Wow.
Right there. So that's a fun thing.
It's so strange to see them next to each other. Like the American counterpart.
And he looks Japanese there. But there's a lot of cool stuff in here. Also, like for those who don't know, man, Nike sneakers, man. It comes from a shoe from Japan called the Tiger.
Yeah, I got Tigers when I was there.
Yeah. $2 wrestling manga. We're looking at a Mil Mascaris one with the Funk Brothers. You showed off some of these in one of the earliest, what do you call it, man? Show and tells that we did.
Yeah, wrestling box of gimmicks, I think, if somebody wants to go back and find that video. I think they've done at least 15 volumes of this series.
Dude,
most of them featuring one guy. That's cool.
That's absolutely Luthez.
Yeah. He wrestled, I think his last match was in Japan at like age 74, and his artificial hip did not hold up well.
Rest in peace, Antonio Inoki. Yeah, so I grabbed a couple of the Shonen Sundays, which is the Shogakukan wrestling comics. And I got a couple other joints, man. I got the Jump ones also.
I just want to mention, like, in this one, because you get these kind of cameos, I believe this is the Destroyer.
Yeah.
So if you ever see, like, that Blondie shirt with the X-Mask wrestler, that's him.
Yeah, sure. Got this one at Book Off, man. Just an issue of 14 by Kazuo Umezu, who was mentioned in the Peter Chung shoot interview as being like one of his favorite mangaka, and it's on the strength of this guy right here.
That's amazing.
That I scooped this thing up. I don't know if it's gotten an American translation yet, but I'd be very curious to read this thing.
That is incredible looking. I love the two color, the black and red.
Yeah, it's not like that throughout.
Much, but still,
it's not like that throughout. You know how it goes.
This looks great.
Just a fever dream of a comic. This is the cartoonist who did Drifting Classroom and Cat-Eyed Boy, which I think is getting a new reprint deluxe edition from Viz Comics that is showing up as targeted advertising on my Facebook.
Of course.
But Peter Chung's one of Peter Chung's favorite mangaka, and you could see why.
Yeah, great horror mangaka.
So Jimmy, like Beam Comics, like this is the dude who is the like Chris Ware, Dan Clowes
Isn't that funny?
kind of inspired guy. It's not okay. You could see it like this kind of shit.
Yes. Beam Comics, we heard
Yeah.
about it recently on our shoot with Peach Momoko talking about Bambi.
Yes.
It's published by Beam. Do you know much about Beam Comics? Are they kind of like a young, hip?
They are the I said it on the Peach thing, man. They are the Fantagraphics of Japanese comics. It's the same deal where it's like, we're gonna put your comic out, you're gonna make a royalty, we're not paying you a dime up front, like, you know, you will make money based on what you sell. But it's the most kind of avant-garde, left of center kind of comics that come out of
Makes
there.
me want to go home and look at the spines on my manga now.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of the most interesting stuff is Beam Comics, and it's not the last Beam comic that we're going to look at. Okay, like this one, for interest, my homeboy, I think, no, I don't think my boy Takahito drew this one, but another Beam comic that was kind of interesting. What happened was, we booked time in this little office space, and I was kicking it with the publisher of Beam Comics and about 5-6 mangaka who have fresh books out at the time, and they were laying things out, telling us about the business model of how that kind of comics works, and it sounded very similar to our kind. And in fact, these comics, they don't sell at the biggest numbers either, because they don't have that weekly support.
These go straight to graphic novels.
I think they do. Like maybe not all. Super wild stuff. What would happen is I would have guys put shit into my hand. Like,
Sure.
It's like, you know what I'm into. I'm telling you what I'm into. I'm showing you the stuff that I'm fucking with.
This isn't King Terry, right?
I don't think so. Look at that. It's very Gary Panter-ish.
Yeah, it feels like it's in that vein.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't see a lot of manga that looks like this. This is another two-color of the red and black.
It is full on.
It's very attractive. Kind of makes me want to do a red and black comic now.
Yeah. Yeah, you know where we would see this would be like Bazooka Joe.
Yeah.
For
Sure.
real. Where
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah,
you
yeah.
know, here's the pink of the skin and here's like the red of the shirt. Scatological. Very important.
Right.
We did a whole big video on Otomo books, so whenever I see a new Otomo that I don't have, I think you brought this one back from your travel.
Yes, I have that one.
So it's like, fuck, I need to get my hands on that.
I was there without the benefit of a translator or somebody, you know, any guides, and I would just go to these shops at night and just go through like shelves and shelves and shelves of manga, and I would find like a Otomo section where it'd be like a whole horizontal, you know, whole shelf full of it, and just pull stuff off and grab it. Because like I said, the prices are so much different than here. You know, like a book like that here is $20-$30.
Yeah, easy.
And there I probably paid $5.
Otomo's getting expensive. The Domo, you will not find a Domo for less than $40, even at the volume that was published. But there are the complete books that are coming out right now, and there's one coming out December 2nd. It's layouts and key artwork and backgrounds or something of Akira. And I guess he does a lot of the key artwork and layouts. So that's going to be the book. It's a 70, it's like 7,700 yen, around 60 something bucks at this point. But it comes out December 2nd, and I am going to leave and not come home until I fucking have that book. Like, that's the one book that I must get my hands on.
I know we've talked about that off air. And I'm very curious to hear the report on finding it. Like, it has to be in every major, like every manga shop, right? A book like that comes out.
Yeah. The thing is, like, my closest connections are the dudes at Mandarake, but Mandarake is arbitrage. It's old rope that they're selling, no new stuff, man. So I don't have a direct connect in a proper shop, but I know where a couple proper shops are in Shibuya. I'll hit them up, see what's up, and worst comes to worst, I'll hit up Aki and say, dude, I gotta get this thing, man. Man-bin. We love Man-bin. And Naoki Urasawa, straight from the horse's mouth, Frederick Schott was like, Naoki Urasawa is the Osamu Tezuka of modern day. So I grabbed volume 1 of a bunch of his series, the ones that really haven't come here yet. There's a Billy Bat in here somewhere. So Yawara, I think she's like a tennis pro or judo master. Let's see. Yeah, this one looks judo-ish.
Yes.
And it's, 20-something volumes of this. However many volumes of this.
Happy.
Yeah. And these are very early works. I haven't seen them translated in America. Okay, she's the tennis pro. And it makes you,
Hernandez style brother's skirt.
Yeah, it makes you wonder, like, on top of just being prolific, how do you learn about being a tennis pro and being a judo master, and then Monster is a brain surgeon?
I agree. I'm very curious. Information to try to glean when you're out there talking to editors. I think the editors actually do some of that. I forget who was telling us that. It might have been Frederick Schott.
Yeah.
It would be a thing that they would assist mangaka. They're basically catch-alls, right? Like, you're producing this work, we need it on deadline. What do you need from me, the editor? What can I do?
And I've heard situations while I was out there of the editors, like, going to museums and taking pictures of, like, fine art and weird columns and stuff that could find their way into the comics. Kaze Shinobu is a revelation that I had while I was out there. I knew his work from Heavy Metal. There's a strip. This strip is printed in Heavy Metal, and I have that issue. But getting hold of these collections, you see that Juliet type shit.
Look at this eyeball, man. Every one of these pages we could stop at, but look at this, like, I don't even know what to call that. It's foreshortening, sort of, but not really. Just such a distorted drawing. It's really cool.
Just wild, out
Great
of control.
images.
Look at that shit, dude.
Yeah, that's really awesome.
An apprentice of Go Nagai and helped him out on a lot of Mazinger, Devilman, that type of material. But then when he came into his own, this is the crown jewel, and we have a video going through this thing, man. And of course, the quintessential Kaze Shinobu piece is when our boy goes out into outer space and comes thrusting down, down, page after page after page, busting through like a Buddha statue, going through.
This stuff is so strong graphically. That like starburst panel, close up of eyes of his.
Look at that, man, going through the earth, pushing forward, and then cracking the earth like a gobstopper, bro.
He does so much great visuals. I'm surprised this has not been translated.
I know,
because
man.
the visuals are so spectacular. It feels like it'd be easy to sell this as an action comic.
Absolutely. Just far out shit, man. Far out shit. Little weird toy magazines.
Love that.
That show off,
If you grew up as like a Kanuki Man muscle fan, these things are great.
Yeah. Wrestling toys. Like the history of wrestling toys.
Dude. Abdullah the Butcher.
I think these are the first wrestling toys ever created. Like this Dory Funk was in that one Mandarake for like a lot of money.
Wow.
Harley Race. It's all heels too. Look, Stan Hansen. I don't know who that dude is.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that one.
Hogan.
That Hogan's hilarious.
With like gold paint. Antonio Inoki.
I have so many questions about this stuff. Yeah, Andre the Giant.
With the grapes.
Wonder if that thing's bigger.
It's not that big.
No.
Yeah, it's about the size. Is that Bob Backlund? That can't
So
be right.
lame.
He doesn't go to Japan, does he?
I don't know, man. I don't know. That's funny though. Either way, look at the shoelace paintings too. Like, what a little detail that would be a pain in the ass.
You know something? If you re-listen to the Peach shoot interview, there's a part where like, you guys could talk to me about like business stuff, like if you need somebody to ask. And when Yo translates it back to Peach, I'm Edo-san, and that's how people say my name, and you'll be able to figure out how they say your name, because I heard the Jim, and I think it's like Jimbo-san or something like that.
I wonder like how these licenses work for like the wrestlers.
Yeah.
If that's something that goes through the wrestling companies, and that's factored into like, okay, we're going to pay you these large amounts. Wow. That's a really nice book. Like, to have generations of wrestlers represented in there as toys, pretty cool.
Yeah, this is our generation. My little brother was able to get these joints.
Yeah, I remember those figures.
AWA figures? That's what that is, huh?
I think these things are worth like...
The Remco joints.
Yeah, the AWA figure Road Warriors I always see for like several $100s now. And it's like, I used to see those things for like $5 in the toy store and want to know parts of them.
Yeah.
So stupid on my part. Vader. Wow.
Yeah, it runs the gamut.
This is a cool catalog.
Runs the gamut.
But I do wonder, like the licensing of these kinds of likenesses. Because, I mean, they talk about, like, Hogan leaving AWA and having issues with Vern Gagne over that.
Right. Some kind of Shigeru Mizuki collection. Something like this somebody put in my hand and just, like, gave me as a gift. Not too sure what all that one's about, but there will be an important Shigeru Mizuki that's going to come underway. Scoop this one up. If you remember Nakano Broadway Mall, there is on the top floor, like the third floor, there is a bookstore that is just like weird, perverse, occultish kind of books. And they had some manga. And it would be the most hardcore of stuff. So this comes from there, which I thought was just very, very rigorous in its treatment. I like that there was no real screen tones. And we get to a strip where there's lots of screen tone. But just...
It's very attractive, and it's kind of, it looks like the reproduction's a little bit rough.
Yeah.
It's neat.
So there's that. There's this one that I see people showing this off on Instagram, so it must have some cult status. But this was in that weird bookstore.
Man, that reminds me of like Landgraf and Dr. Peculiar, those first couple of pages.
Yeah.
Heck, even a couple of those pages.
It's that very old school. Like this is very old manga. Like I wouldn't be surprised if it's from even the 60s or something.
Did you pick this up on your own or somebody handed it to you?
Yeah,
this is a good find.
Because I would see it a lot. And like I said, there are people who are showing it off like to this day on Instagram. It'll show up on my Explore page.
I can see why. I really like the drawings in it, and it's just peculiar looking.
Yeah. Look at that stuff, man. Yeah, wild shit, man. So that was in that weird store, and this was also in that weird store that, if a catalog, somebody put this in my hand. Just sent me home with some shit. Just a bunch of cool, fucked up images. All right, man. This is a Beam comic, man. This Miki Yamamoto. Her stuff is it feels like cartooning of our stripe, like it's almost like a Jules Pfeiffer, Harvey Kurtzman kind of style. She has a lot of translated editions like in France and stuff, and I think she is working to try to get some stuff together with American publishers.
Makes total sense. I see shades of things like some European people, even some early Paul Pope, like the Ballad of Dr. Richardson or something, some of that. Great drawing, and I can see why the Europeans would like it. It feels like cartooning. It looks like she's drawing with different tools than most of the manga books.
It's true. And speaking of different tools, here's a crazy one. Another homeboy from there, you see it right there, man. Beam Comics. This dude Takahito Murizumi, he inks with just a chopstick.
That's chopstick inking?
Yeah.
Wow.
And literally like the chopstick that you eat your sushi with.
You know whose line that reminds me of is Andy Watson.
Yeah.
That's really neat. It's graphic too. Like if you'd have told me it's a chalk or a pencil or something, I would have been like, okay, yeah, I can see that. Chopstick, wow. Like how do you get to that?
Yeah, just trying to get that organic, wobbly.
Trying to show people something they haven't seen.
Yeah.
There's also elements of Matsumoto that I see in that work because like he's a guy that seems to switch tools and styles and line and stuff from book to book. And I feel like there's some of his stuff that has that textured like line.
This is a distinct book off purchase. I didn't know that Ricky O was a manga. I just know it from like the Brutal movies. And there's that section in book off where it's the 100 yen section, fucking 100 yen. That's
it's $1. It's less than $1 now.
Yeah. And
this very attractive cover, and man, it already looks amazing.
There is some key imagery here, man. Dudes killing dudes on like elephant back.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. It's a great looking series.
There's a good one.
True brutality, the shit that we dig. Look at that shit, dude.
Look at that shit.
Yeah, man. But check that shit out, dude.
Yeah.
Murking dudes off freaking elephant back. I love that stuff. Yeah,
that's a good find. You pull this off of you saw Ricky O
and I was like, oh shit! Like I know the movie. It's so hardcore. Look at that dude just fucking up an elephant. Look at that shit, ripping the dude's face off. And like, why is this not translated?
Oh, badass. fast.
It looks like a total cousin to Fist of the North Star.
It does.
Hera Tetsuo type work.
It is curious, and I wonder if like the I mean, there's lots of violent manga, but it, in my mind, like this feels like, oh yeah, this is a Wednesday. This makes sense, but I
Yeah.
guess that's a lot of group that maybe doesn't buy manga.
Check
so.
this out, dude. Man, gets the arms like
The Blob.
yeah. I think he's gonna bite it in a real cool way. We should have that payoff. Oof! Puts a rock in his face and then jabs his jaw. Such cool imagery.
It looks great. Is this a long series?
It
do you
is,
know?
yeah. There's a bunch of volumes for sure. Like after I got this one, I started to see them all over the place. So
It's funny because, like, in my mind, you're pulling stuff out, and I go, "That's a great cover," and
Yeah.
then I'm going, "Why is that a great cover?" It's so simple. I think it's the color combo.
Sure.
Because what else is on there?
Yeah.
But it stands out, like, in a table of looking at 50 of these books. Like, I feel like this one pops.
I don't know the name of the mangaka, but this is his most popular series, and I scooped it up because I wanted some more of his work in old Shonen Jumps. In fact, this is a Shonen Jump that I had as a kid that I lost through just moves and stuff. And when I saw it out there, it was exactly the same feeling as when rediscovering Wizard comic, like a Wizard magazine that I haven't seen in a long time. And so I had this issue. I had to scoop it back up to just like replace it, just for that nostalgia's sake.
Did you get that brain surge when you looked through it?
Yeah, absolutely. Now this one may or may not have a chapter of a strip called Bakudan, which is the lesser known strip that artist drew that is fucking incredible. Okay, so it's not in this volume, but I'm gonna be on a hunt for some Bakudan. Don't kayfabe affect me. There's 2 tankobons of that, because there's already dudes out there with the kayfabe shirts on at Nakano Broadway Mall showing like, "Yo, Ed, look, I got that Popeye magazine." Like all that, and
That's
it's
pretty
like,
cool.
and it's like, fuck, I wanted to pull that Popeye magazine for Geof. So I'm gonna have to hunt for that. But there's 2 volumes of Bakudan. It's like a kickbox comic. So I wanted to get some more of that guy's art because I really kind of like the style. I think he was an assistant to Hera Tetsuo, the guy from Fist of the North Star for a while, and kind of came into his own. And this is from a I forget exactly what the genre is called. It was in Shonen Jump, but it's like evil teens or something, like bad schoolboys. I forget the general like title of it, but these are like school kids that are assholes, but then they become more disciplined and things. I think I grabbed 2 volumes of that, one of the early volumes and one of the late ones to kind of compare and contrast.
You know what's
the,
really neat
artwork.
on this video, and I didn't think about it ahead of time, is just seeing all the covers next to each other.
Yeah.
And seeing what pops. Like, when you talk to book designers, they talk about that, laying
Yeah.
out book covers and sort of like seeing what they respond to and what
Totally.
stands out.
I'm that dude whenever I go to whenever I have a book that needs designed, like I'll go to the Barnes & Noble and just fuck off for a while and just see like, okay, what's working? What's making me pick up these books? Speaking of Hera Tetsuo, there was this book called Cyber Blue that has several volumes, maybe 5, 6 I saw out there. But Luke, check this shit out, dude. That's your title page, right?
Once again, I mean, I guess the volume is too great to translate everything, and probably some of these creators don't want to translate it, but wow.
Yeah.
I mean, the rigor on those pages, the detail, the sci-fi character designs, like, that seems like it would sell, right?
Yeah, and if I'm not
That's
mistaken,
incredible.
Jeez.
Jeez.
This is 100% Hera Tetsuo, where Fist of the North Star is written by Bo Ronson.
Yeah.
So, this is his voice, and I would love to see exactly how his voice translates to the comic page.
There's something to be said about this size as well.
Oh, yeah.
Because, I mean, yeah, blow this stuff up. I like to see the art as big as I can. But the density of that is just incredible.
Yes.
It really is kind of, for creating a world, you could do a lot worse.
So 300 yen would be $2. Somebody put this in my hand. It was, there's an anthology or there's a comic about everything. This is literally a bunch of stories that include smoking.
There is a comic about everything.
There is.
Absolutely.
But the reason that I have it is somebody put it in my hand because it has an Inio Asano story that that isn't translated anywhere else. That would be this right here. And Ini Iwasano is one of the guys from Man whose work I responded to the most. So,
Any chance of meeting him?
you know, we almost made that shit happen, but schedules, man. These mangaka, they don't have time. But check out that for cool imagery.
Yeah, it's good.
We did a week's worth of videos. I forget if it was one video or like different videos over time, or we looked at like Spider-Man ones, and we included Spider-Man manga. And this is the first volume of the Ryoichi Ikegami Spider-Man manga, which has very little Spider-Man in it. You know, these comics, they're shrink wrapped when you buy them. So it's like, oh, I'll get the origin. I'll see what the origin looks like. That decompressed storytelling, my man, like this origin might be this complete volume, because as you notice, you ain't seeing no fucking Spider-Man in this shit.
Not much. That's a shame too, because those
That's
little
pretty
glimpses
cool.
are good looking.
Yeah.
You need to find the volume that's all Spider-Man action.
Yeah.
Grab that one. Yeah, it's cool that some of this stuff has been brought over to English.
The other cool piece is to see what very early Ryoichi Ikegami artwork looks like, because it's
Some
very
real
different.
standouts. Yeah, very different, but also some real standouts. Like there have been some great panels as you flip through that.
Yeah.
Some great page layouts. And I mean, like some of this stuff, like there was a crowd scene at night there, backlit by cars. Wow.
My one homeboy hooked this up because he knew that I was into wild shit, so he just threw this my way. I thought it was kind of cool.
That's about as wild as you're going to get within this context.
Yeah.
Like from the stuff we flipped through today, that feels like the furthest out.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see, maybe. I think this is a Mandarake catalog. There was an art show out there. Uh-oh.
Wow.
I think this is Takashi Sensei's, the Afro Samurai dude. I think that's his wife's, this is his wife's favorite manga.
Hilarious. Man, look at the cartooning. That's not what I expected from that cover. Looks so sparse.
Yeah, very dense, huh? Got that primitive energy.
I feel like I've seen some of this. I bet you this is in one of those, man, I feel like I've seen this in something. You know, there's a couple
Maybe
of
it's
those
at a
like
Comics
weird,
Underground.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Oh
there's
my
like two or
goodness.
three of those. I didn't see that part. A couple of those anthologies of like some of the stranger, more alternative manga, and I think it might be in one of those.
Now you can't unsee it.
No, thank you for that.
This dude was real funny. He had some of my comics. He had Takashi's comics, and he had a couple Rufus Dayglow like Tank Girl comics, and wanted all his stuff signed in, and he like signed these to us.
I like the marker he's using.
Yeah.
Yeah, I held that one up for the Kayfabe audience.
And it's got that urban flavor, you know. Like I just saw a Black Flag shirt.
Mm-hmm.
So you know he was down with the hip hop family tree shit for sure. Another Takahito piece with the chopstick inking.
Very neat looking. Again, though, I don't know. Draw with a pencil.
Right.
You know, it's very close, and then you don't have to dip it in ink.
Yeah.
A lot of discipline there. I guess maybe the struggle of drawing with the chopstick is part of the sparse. Like, make those lines count.
Yeah. I don't remember, like, you know, something like this would be put in my hand, so I don't know. But it looks great.
Yeah, Gekiga
Yeah.
kind of style. Nice drawing. That lady biting her fingernails was a really nice drawing. Those rooftops look great too.
Is this a
The
show?
shadow on there, very nice. I wonder if it's more than one artist.
Yeah. The author photo.
It's so impressive. The fact that like this stuff we don't even have knowledge of this.
Yeah.
It really illustrates just the richness of that publishing industry. Man, there were some pieces in here that are just spectacular.
This was something that I was on the hunt for based on this dude, Tsune, who is an amazing graphic designer, amazing artist. Like when we were at Nakano Broadway, we went to no less than 3 places that it had artwork that he kind of contributed to, from doing graphic design for like Bandai robot toys, like doing a box, to like a fluorescent light tube art installation thing, to just an illustration on the cover of something. Like the dude just a total Renaissance man. He's hooked up with Pun P and that rap label, but like check this shit out right there, dude.
Yeah, that's
Cool
hard.
as fuck, right?
That's really awesome.
And he was like, yeah, this is the one. He's like, you're not gonna find it in Japan. Like, you're not gonna find it. It wasn't popular.
That face like melting off the skull.
Yeah,
Very
it
nice.
feels pre-code, right? And this is kind of
That
like
looks great.
Yeah, it's like a Terminator. They're like Terminator
Sure.
dogs. Yeah, check that shit, dude. I
You
think
know,
we're
we
going to
laugh
Wii 3.
at that, but that's our world. It's
Yeah,
closer to
remember
this
those
than
little
ever.
like Terminator horses
Oh man,
that can't fall?
you're right. Those dudes would just kick them as hard as they could.
Yeah, there's too much gyroscope in them.
Guess what? Machines don't forget.
Here's a killer one for you, Jimmy. You know what? Maybe I should even save this one for the last. Billy Bat.
I feel like this has been a murderer's row these last several.
This is the
Yep.
book that Urasawa would be working on during the tenure of Manben, and I think even in the newest season, like he wrapped it up. You know, he's on some new shit already.
Yeah, I grabbed a bunch of this on Scanlation sites.
Yeah, they said
This is my kind of like I like this comic a lot
Uh-huh.
for the meta elements of like the cartoonist and then some stuff in that world.
Did it ultimately get a translation started? Because they said that it will probably never happen because the cartoonist is supposed to like live in America, but it's like it
That's
ain't
what I always
America.
heard. Yeah, that's what I always heard is that it's kind of too weird.
Yeah.
Or you know, whoever the gatekeepers are feel it's too weird, but who knows? He's great. You know, like you could see him having like a complete library printing or something at some point in the next couple decades.
Yeah, and you could tell that this Urasawa is way different than the Yowara and Happy.
Yeah.
You know, this guy has leveled up significantly.
Dude, it's almost the they live kind of face.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, these are great.
Couple more pieces. Popcorn is the American reprints in Japanese. And it's interesting to see the stuff that gets the translation.
Yeah, is that
Frank Robbins or something, maybe?
some Japanese mixed with this, or is that
Yeah.
some other like non-Japanese comics folded in?
Yeah, it looks pretty Japanese.
Yeah, it does.
This is the
Interesting
kind of
blend.
this is the kind of comics that you could imagine you could do like 20 pages in a week. Some of that shit. But this is
How must the American comics be received in the middle of this package? Because
Right.
probably 60-70% of what you showed there. Wow,
Japanese.
look at that cover.
yeah.
You know, it's still predominantly it looks like manga and Japanese creators. So I wonder like is Spider-Man just weird as hell if you're
Right.
like, picking this up?
And it's definitely different than the Spider-Man that they have out
Yeah.
there.
For
Where he's like a denizen of hell. And how do you even make sense of that right there?
That makes sense. I feel like the storytelling around it might be a little bit odd, but fun to see that the purple ink like one color line art.
Yeah.
That looks good.
Little
Is that
George
Gene
Tuska.
Colan? Ah,
Then you get your manga in there. Cinderella Boy.
and how?
It's for the new millennium.
What?
Pretty sick, huh? John Romita Stan Lee. You know, the 70s joints with Falcon.
Yeah. a lot
Maybe contemporary for the time.
Yeah, not too far off. A lot of the Marvel comics in this one.
Good sample too. Some Barry Smith.
Yeah, it's interesting how this stuff just doesn't get very far.
Right.
I think that comes down to story.
Yeah, and the way that it's laid out and
I mean, the stories are lousy. We talk about you know,
Yeah.
the majority of that stuff, and like you're talking about really sophisticated stories for a lot of this manga, regardless of the age group.
yeah. I think this is a Mandarake toy catalog or something.
I think that's a big difference the way they approach that I don't know, the idea of story.
Giant Baba versus Antonio Inoki Shonen Sunday
That's a big one.
book.
That's I mean, that is Japanese wrestling history.
Yeah,
Like
two rival
you know,
factions.
Generation 2 or something.
New Japan versus All Japan.
It's NWA versus WWF.
Oh yeah, sure. I was going through these, man, when Antonio Inoki passed, just seeing like how people communicate that jaw line.
Yeah. Pretty fun.
So we knew about
little Megaton Man jawline there, huh?
We knew about these ones, but these were a revelation. The jump versions.
Yes, I had not seen these, and nobody's better suited for manga than Road Warriors.
Yeah, look at that! Look at that Arthur photo.
Absolutely, lean into it.
Stan Hansen, my favorite. Stan Hansen and Bruiser Brody, like giving the lariat.
Yeah.
It looks like he's getting it as a receipt.
Wow.
Andre watching from a distance.
Super cool.
There's a part where Hawk does the thing with his neck and gets the collar to fly off.
It's so fun.
I was showing this piece off when I got back, and then people started to tweet that they bought the whole set.
Right.
You know, I think there's about 10 volumes. Oh, dude, that was even Precious Paul Ellering.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, I guess he was out there with him. Look at that, dude. The ominous, impending Road Warriors coming to smash. The Gaijin are always heels.
The 10-volume set, is it all Road Warriors, or is it like that other series where it's different wrestlers?
See, this is another issue. Yeah, they each get their cup of coffee. And I don't know, like, I don't see, like a MacGuffin character. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I'm also not paying attention for that. I'm like, oh, look, Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, I mean, that's what you're selling. Harley Race?
Looks like it, huh?
Yeah. Man, I've been seeing Stan Hansen promos for some reason. It popped up in my feed. It's so weird how this stuff shows up. And it's just him, like, eating tobacco and...
Oh, yeah. He's crazy. Just dripping on his chest. Look, the Freebirds, dude. Terry Bam Bam Gordy.
Yeah, how about that?
Michael P.S. Hayes.
That's great. That's a pretty good P.S. Hayes, even just the body language twisting around a little bit.
Yeah, and just, like, dainty with that chest hair and stuff. Yeah, he's the first, like, pronounced chest hair of wrestlers that you notice. Look at him, just so kind of metrosexual.
It's great to see how they interpret these characters, because they're already caricatures, right?
Look at old Road Warriors.
Wow.
Pre makeups.
Yeah.
So Harley Race and Hulk Hogan were a team, huh? How about that?
In this comic.
Yeah.
I don't know. You ever watch Hogan Japanese videos?
Yes.
Like he wrestles.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. There was a tape that I would get
Takes
from
bumps
Farmore.
it may be ill-advised.
But like the Gaijin are always heels. Always. No matter what. No matter who they are. You know, Steiner brothers.
Yeah, I bet they would have been fit in well there.
Yeah, stiff.
Yeah.
Stiff workers.
Brody, just a god.
Dude, we're gonna go see some wrestling out there, and I saw the poster, and there is one Gaijin guy, like he's like a fatter dude, and he's got like a contact lens in one eye, so it's like the milky eye. I think he's a monster that comes through the crowd. I hope so. And I asked people like,
it'd be fun to see.
Like, do we buy our streamers and stuff ahead of time? And they're like, yeah, go to like Tokyo Hands, go buy your fucking party favors so that you could throw that shit. I digress.
For good reason.
Takashi Okazaki, man, did this weird, like a whole complete graphic novel for like that like ramen noodle company, that like Nissan Samurai Noodles. But he was commissioned to do a whole deal.
Strange.
It's in English.
Yeah. Love the format.
Yeah.
Even the cover, that's super cool.
Yeah, very curious. You know, it's just a promo piece for some like cup noodles.
That is ambitious.
Yeah. Samurai noodles. This is one of those weird ones that somebody put into my hand is like, oh, this is my favorite comic. Don't have much context beyond that. And what I'm looking for is like bombastic imagery.
Absolutely.
You know? And then you get to like a lot of build up for this right here.
Yeah.
Pretty fun, right?
Very tight lines in this one. like the subtle differences. Mm-hmm. You know, a lot less of the grays that we see in some of the other books, and some of that's probably paper related.
Yeah. This is another one of those pieces that was in that weird porno
That
hardcore
makes total
store.
sense. It feels format-wise in line with at least one of those other ones.
Yeah.
I like this stuff too. This feels outlawish. It feels a little bit like when I see like Americans that are influenced by certain manga doing stuff like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like it. I like the attention to the figure work and stuff.
A couple more to go.
I even like the subtlety of, like, for cover, again, you know, mentioning covers, like, we haven't seen anything with this sort of green.
Totally. If it looks like risograph or something.
Mm-hmm.
This is one of the dudes that was chilling at the Beam Comics Summit that we were a part of. It looks like a whole anthology.
It does.
Oh yeah, there's that Takahito
That
dude
feels,
is in here.
like Beam.
Yeah. I'm not sure the context for this one. But the lettering is hand done, which is fascinating. I think this might be from like a rental manga reprint or something.
Like super old.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Some kind of Kinnikuman catalog.
You went to an exhibit of this, right?
Oh yeah.
Is that where you got this?
I think so.
It's neat to see it on like a glossy paper.
It's all that crazy graphic design, man.
We miss out on not having Kaneki Man in English.
It's true. I mean, we just have the scanlations. This is that same lady who has the foreign editions from France and stuff. This is
Yeah.
her first comic. Jimmy, when I put my luggage together to leave, you couldn't fit a piece of type and paper inside that zipper, or else it would have busted.
I was gonna say you got to take like medium-sized luggage and not large luggage. Because what would that weigh? 150 pounds? You pack one of those large bags?
They have these portable scales. Like my buddy Aki had a portable scale, like that you like lift and it lets you know.
Right.
And I was playing like
Sure.
some kind of game to get each of those to 50 pounds. Let's go Raw Magazine. This is that Sujay guy. Like you recognize this.
Mm-hmm.
Right there, man. Reprinted in Raw several places, and this is just a giant.
Yeah, Comics Journal reprinted, what's the Screw Style?
Yeah,
Is that his famous story?
just a gang of his work. I don't know if it's one continuous story, a bunch of different stuff, but this would have showed up in Darrow
Yeah.
over a number of years, and Darrow was one of those places like we're not paying you $1. We're giving you a place to publish. Be thankful.
I think I have that Comics Journal that reprints that one story and probably gives some context that we could look at on an episode if you wanted to.
Yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be cool. But, you know, you just make mention, like, there's such a gift-giving culture. Like, you just mention a dude, and then this shows up, and they're like, here, please take it.
Yeah,
Look at that.
some of his stuff has been translated, as you mentioned, in Raw.
Yeah. And to add confusion, though, there are two
Right.
Sujays. And thanks to Uncle Fred Schott for telling us how to say that
Right.
name. And here's what we'll
Sweet book.
yeah.
Interesting to see
Nice
that format
package.
presentation.
Totally.
You know, like obviously a revered guy.
Yeah, you get the full treatment. So this was the revelation. This was the book that I was like staring at a bunch while I was out there, man. Shigeru Mizuki, he's got 100 volumes of stuff. A lot of it is Kintaro, but on the outside label of this, there was a bootleg ass looking Superman, and in here, he does not only a Superman comic, but he does a Plastic Man as well. Before he starts to do Kintaro,
This is early in his career.
it's exactly. I think even in the 50s.
Yeah, the style, you can see it's a very early. Wow. Boy, his water's really good.
Yeah, look at that alien, dude.
For perspective on that cooling stack. Yeah, that's neat. Best costume I saw this Halloween, somebody had made a jellyfish, made it themselves. We saw him walk down the street in the daylight, and it was like, oh, that looks cool, streamers. Walking back, there was some light source under it, looked just like the jellyfish at the zoo.
That's so cool,
It was
man.
good. Reminds me of that monster.
But here we go. Yeah, like with the S on the chest, man. Straight up.
A lot of European influence on this.
I would say so. Yeah, real clear line. You know what it is? It's the 50s. They haven't established their language yet.
Yeah, it's wild.
Here's your Plastic Man.
Are they licensed, do you think? I mean, the likenesses are really similar.
Yeah, I mean, Woozy Winks is in here. Like, it's the whole deal. So I don't know about that, or if it's just like, oh, they'll never find out. See, there's Woozy. Doesn't it feel so rough? Like this could have been like a 2000 era SPX comic.
Yeah, I would accept like kids comic.
Right.
With the same deal where like you're copying your favorite Plastic Man, but you're 11
right.
or 9.
Yeah, it's 2 stories apiece. Like it's 1 story each for the Plastic Man, 1 story for the Superman. So it was either a short-lived thing or.
That's hilarious. Getting rolled over with a steamroller.
Yeah.
Flattening him out. That's neat to see. It's fun to see him bent around in all these different forms.
And the fact that it's Shigeru Mizuki who has his full own career. These guys have their little cup of coffee with like American stuff.
It's another one of those without the screen tones.
Yeah. Yeah,
that
I think
really
it
stands out.
I don't think they existed at the time that this stuff was made. And, you know, a nice companion piece to Bat Manga.
Yeah, this is sharp. I don't remember seeing this when we looked at your haul before. But it does make you wonder, like, did he get a grip of those comics and, you know, draw influence from them?
Right.
Because, like, Plastic Man, pretty good comic.
Yeah.
Superman, I guess, very iconic.
Very popular.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah. And some of this looks like just like that rental manga, cheap, dashed out, quickie shits, man. But he's got hundreds of volumes. Like this exact set, you know, like with this graphic design treatment. It must have been 70, 80 books, like a whole bookshelf. But there it is, man. That's the bulk of the haul.
Amazing.
From Manga Quest 1 2019. 2 Saturdays from now, going for round 2. You know, I hope to get some videos out there in Japan. I hope to get some shoot interviews and stuff like that. You know, got a little representation myself with Japanese hip hop family tree. I think there's going to be a Tankobon, like a Shonen Jump style collection with like all the hip hop family trees, different color inks, all that kind of thing. It's not going to be out this year, but probably next year. This is the best printing of hip hop family
Isn't that
tree.
how it goes?
Yeah, absolutely, man. Edo-san. But expect some things to come from this next trip. Going to be out there for a month. Going to be out there with Geof Darrow, so it's going to be like, oh, Geof, put some shit in my hands, man. You know, he's already sent me some real cool manga. That one armed samurai thing, the guy just died not too long ago. So that's where we're at. There's the fruits of the first one. I think I have. Well, I'm not going to say just in case if I still have to hunt for it. But Kayfabers, if you have recommendations, put something in the comments so that I have some good idea of things to hunt down. You see the flavor of shit that I dig. So let's be fruitful with it, man. Good to go, Jimmy?
Yeah, man.
Kayfabers, like, follow, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Hit the bell. We'll notify you when new vids are available. Jimmy, tell the people what's out there, dude.
Street Angel Deadliest Girl Alive, back in print from Image Comics. Pick that one up next time you hit the comic shop. Also a good one for a gift this holiday season. Perfect for any age reader, including your adults in your life. Hulk Grand Design Monster Madness. This is in comic shops now as comic books. It will be in shops in early 2023 as a beautiful, oversized, fluorescent green Treasury edition, but you got to pre-order that one now. Let wherever you buy books know you want a copy so that you don't run into some kind of weird printing problem. And join me on patreon.com/JimRugg, where you can see a lot more of my art, including a recent PDF collection of all of my freelance covers.
Amazing, man. Red Room, The Antisocial Network, and Red Room Trigger Warnings are the book collections that are out there on the stands as we speak. Murder on the Dark Web for Fun and Profit is the name of the game. Each of these books is completely self-contained. It has 4 stories apiece, 70 plus pages of additional material in each book. Get these at finer bookstores anywhere, Amazon, eBay, wherever. And I'm serializing new Red Room comics at my Patreon, patreon.com/edpiskor. $3 for the archive there. And new strips every Tuesday, more than 300 pages. Have a link tree in the description below where you can get your hands on all of that stuff. Jimmy, tell the people what else we have out there, man.
Subscribe to the Cartoonist Kayfabe e-newsletter at the links below this video. You can also find Cartoonist Kayfabe t-shirts, mugs, stickers, fanny packs, and more at our spread shop, also in the links below this video.
It's another great way to support the Cartoonist Kayfabe channel. Given those marching orders, will be on our way.
Read more manga.